Hi, welcome. You wondering what that noise was? It was the Swedish House Mafia at Badlands. Yeah. Does that interest you? Pretty crazy, man. Oh, I always found European music to be very have sort of that edge to it, you know, and be very edgy. Ooh, look at me. I'm looking at me, looking at you, looking at me. Ooh, there we go. Oh, now I'm looking at me. Just looking at me. All about me. Just came back from a walk. Wonderful. Had to take the puppers out. Went for a little walk. I am now live. Thank you very much. It's Monday, July the 8th. Welcome. Welcome. It's another week. It's another week. Now you can see um as you start looking at a lot that is going on in and around the world, because when things are at 29 degrees or at 1 degree and stuff like that, I mean, we're starting to hit really world points. um Uranus is on Aldebaran. Is it on? No, Algo. Get it straight. But you start to see when you start looking around, good morning. Looking around the world, you start to see craziness happens. Now, I know some of you might not follow a lot of the news that I follow because, I'm just follow obscure shit. What's happening in Europe right now? We got the French right wing defeat. I don't understand how they do their voting in France because it's done by tiers and it's really confusing. Doesn't take much to confuse me. But the riots that were crazy last night in Paris and stuff, and attacking the police, and we're seeing that. They have the Labour Party that's in the UK, which I think is a fucking joke, for the Labour Party. But the thing is, all of this tyranny, all of this craziness has to happen. It has to happen so people get to see things. We had to have Trudeau, right? If you didn't have Trudeau, and everything was hunky dory, and we'd be just going along, la 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 la, and not paying attention. But for the espionage to happen in 2019, for things to start to get disruptive, for us to really start to question our world, yeah, we are really starting, our eyes are starting to awaken. We are starting to really see. Now, this week, um, we have Mars coming up with Uranus, and then we have the moon in Leo, conjunct Eros, and squaring over to Mars and Uranus in Taurus. So we have this friction that is coming in, and Uranus is bringing in crazy friction, and Mars is there. Mars is really starting to stir things up. I mean, Uranus is the higher consciousness. So here comes Mars saying, "Well, what are you doing about it? What's going on here? Why are we going on? This is a warrior. He wants answers, right? He wants to know why are you allowing these things to happen in the world, right? So disruption is happening. People are starting to realize it. I saw a video on this one guy going around campus. I think it was, might have been Princeton. I'm not too sure, but it was one of those 72,000 a year campuses. And he was asking all of the, the protesting, but they're still holding these signs. And he came up and he goes, "Well, what is the river to the sea? Can you explain that to me?" They had no fucking idea. They asked, "Well, tell me about Palestine. How long has Palestine been underneath this tutelage of Israel?" "Oh, hundreds, thousands of years." No, it hasn't. In fact, that area was Egyptian ruled. They're under Egyptian rule till, you know. So knowledge is power. getting to know the knowledge. That is the higher part of Uranus, knowing the knowledge. Here we have where Mercury is, and Mercury being over there in Leo as well. Mercury wants, is let me figure this out. Let me, I'm going to do the things that I love and I want to learn and I want to do this. But we don't want to force it. This is not a forcing week, but you're going to see people being totally fucking unhinged and feeling it, feeling the disruption, feeling the craziness, feeling the chaos, right? So that Mars Uranus, the theme of this is it's, it's another I'm gonna say it's a roller coaster ride that is just going on a wooden roller coaster and you can feel the screws coming loose. That's the roller coaster ride we're on this week. And the next 10 days, and in the next 10 days we have the moon in Scorpio that is going to oppose Mars, and it's going to oppose Uranus. So we're going to have this opposition and we're going to feel it because Scorpio is all about our, what collectively we have together with somebody, whether it's government, whether it's joint finances, or whether it's, insurance. This is all about our sexuality. This is about how, our boundaries, how far we are going to go and how far we are going to push our boundaries, right? So we have these boundaries that are coming that we are starting to question. We're starting to question. The more I go down, the things that are happening, I mean, they just didn't happen. We can go all the way back to 2007 and 2008 to things that were happening in England and understanding the different things that were happening in what is it, Luton, I think it's Luton is a very poor county, like it's a poor city, a lot of drugs, a lot of, it's not a nice city. um I mean, the things that people see there, it to them it seems like, oh, okay, isn't that just in every city kind of thing? But they have seen since the early mid 2000s, where they went from one mosque in a small place, a small city. I mean, it's not a million people, it's not, I think it's like 30,000, anyways, to 43 mosques. And this is where you start to see, okay, what the fuck's going on? And I follow Tommy Robertson, and I follow him, and just listening to his story and the things, the reason why he is such a person, a defender of bringing forth peace, to bringing forth understanding, and for people to wake up. And that's the thing, is like people are waking up. That's why we have to have all of this craziness and this chaos. This week is just going to get even more chaotic. You can see just what happened here at Stampede. Um, oh, I can't even remember her name. Anyways, the ugly bitch who always wears pearls, um, got booed out of Calgary. Like anywhere she went, she got booed. She got heckled. Nobody wanted her in Calgary. Nobody wanted her. Pierre went to Cowboys, and that's a huge party tent, right? He went to the and just went up on stage. He got a standing ovation. Like he people were like, "Wow, we're so happy." And then they broke out in "O Canada" with him, and it was just like, "Whoa." I mean, to watch it is very emotional. But you're seeing where people are saying, "No, we're not going for that bullshit. We're not following that agenda." And that's where when we get that Mars Uranus, where Uranus, we never know exactly where it leads. But it always gets us to go on to the highest road. So things are going to get extremely electrical this weekend. Things are going to get very vibrant this weekend. We are going to see a lot of disruptions happening in and around the world. You might not see it in your own neighborhood, or maybe you don't want to see it. But people are going to be starting to come out and rally against what's going on. When we start seeing our values, our morals being tossed away, when you start seeing where Tommy, he transcribed some of the things that the mosques were saying, that it was allowed for women to be flogged by their husband if they did not obey. Like, that was one of the things within the mosque. And if you didn't, a lot of times you look at something and you don't read the language, you don't know what it says. It's where you start to see where they are setting out and grooming, and a lot of grooming packs are going out on taking 13-year-old, 12-year-old girls that, being nice and promising them things and wanting to give them beautiful things, and you think that, what the hell are they doing with this sleazy guy? And a lot of it is, and yeah, a lot of it is Pakistani gangs that are working with, um, the middle with the Muslims, and to groom these young girls, to bring these young girls in, and then they bring them over to them, and they have prostitution rings, they're selling drugs, they're doing all of this, and you're like, oh, but this is like you're thinking of these this group of people who pray 4 or 5 times a day, but there's an underlying seediness, just like there is within Christianity, right? You think, oh, these are upholding people. They go to church every day. Oh my God, how could they? But there's an understanding seediness. Seediness is really wanting to take away a lot of your values, your morals, your ideas, the way you do things. And this is where people are starting to wake up. And that's why I think, with the Labor Party, the he looks like a toad. The toad guy who got in the UK. Um, I mean, he's this is like, wow, what a wake up call people are going to have, because people are tired of, not being able to find a job, not being able to get a job, being, uh, told what they can and cannot do, how they're supposed to dress in their own country, and even starting to bring in, and I think I mentioned this a few years ago, of, how prohibition came in where there's no alcohol. You're going to find where there's going to be a push for no alcohol because Muslims don't drink. I'm not trying to put all of them into one basket, but this is the vibration, this is the energy that's coming through, and it's going to get people to really awaken. This is going to get people to say, what the fuck? It's like almost where, during World War II, when people were, yeah, going behind Hitler and backing Hitler, and like, oh yes, this is the way. This is the way. He's going to lead us to a better place, to a promised land, right? And feeding all different types of ideologies and all different types of spew. And this is where we have to find our own humility to be able to stand up, where we've been for so long not being able to say what we want to say, because you might offend somebody. This is coming to a point where we're saying, fuck it. You know what? I don't care if it offends you. That's yours, that's on you. That trigger is yours. It's not mine. And that's owning 100% of your reality, right? When you own 100% of your reality, you're owning that trigger. You're owning that what pisses you off. I mean, we all have them, and we all have to look at them. And this is where it's like, finding our groove within, especially within this week, that it is going through a lot of these bumps and allowing, flowing with the bumps, flowing with this and going through with it, because it's going to lead us to a better place. And this is where we can get into, ridicule. We can get into, the throwing of names. But this is, it's not to ridicule people, because when you ridicule that's when you're coming from a place of hurt, right? And anger, and you're wanting to belittle them in some way. This is where we have to receive and allow, so that we can grow. So we can grow and be more prosperous in the things that we want to do. This is where we are going to be having to searching for that love. And that love is unity, right? The love is unity. But when you have a unity, or you have this force that's coming in that doesn't want you to live the way you are living, that doesn't want you to have your sovereignty, And the impressionable age is the 13-year-olds, the 12-year-olds, the 18-year-olds, the early 20s, who are very impressionable because one, they don't have the life experiences, and but yet they think this is the right thing to do. So they turn around and ridicule everybody who came before them. They ridiculed everything that they did or what they did or what they said and how they did it. And you got to understand that they're expressing some kind of wound, some kind of hurt. So there's wounded and hurtness that's there that needs to be healed. We can recognize that, but we don't bow down to it because that's what love is. Love is standing up to it and saying, I get it. I understand it and I own what I did, but I don't own all of that. That's not all mine. So I'm going to stand up for what I need to stand up for. And I'm still going to send you love. I'm going to send you understanding. But in that love and understanding, you have to be able, when you are going through all of that, to come to a place of understanding. When I was watching that young guy going around the campus asking people questions of what they were protesting, and some of them had no idea, and which is so um, so hurtful. Like they had no idea of the whole thing with Palestine, or they have the whole they don't have the whole understanding of Ukraine and the conflict between Russia and Ukraine. And until you look into the history, you understand what was going on, then it gets you to say, "Oh shit, okay, all right, we got a bunch of warmongering people, and that Mars Uranus is bringing in the craziness." And it's starting because Uranus is uranium. So there is that uranium energy, that electrical energy that's coming in. And when Pluto does go into Capricorn, and we're going to have Mars that is going to retrograde, and that's going to be coming later on in the year. When Mars retrogrades, it's going to be retrograding with Pluto. And Pluto is atomic. So we are heading into this volatile energy. And this volatile energy, we need to look at it, we need to understand it. We don't need to ridicule it, but we need to come to a place where we are able to journey our lives within the love. And that's the huge one. And that's a hard one, especially when so many people are going through such hard times. Steve and I just went to the 7-Eleven and just going down there for the walk and stuff. It was We were greeted by one guy who looked clean. He didn't look like a druggie, but he was homeless. He got laid off and he missed some payments and he got evicted and he had his whole story. And this is where he's at a place where he's like, okay, I don't know what else to do, but I gotta get some food, kind of thing. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. But there is more of that that's happening. More people are going to be homeless. More people are going to be trying to find their way. And this is where you're going to find people are coming together under one roof. So where they can't afford the apartment on their own, they won't be able to afford their house. They'll have to come in and live together under one roof. So this is where we're going to find family units sort of coming together, or groups of friends coming together because they just can't do it on their own. So joint resources coming together, which is going to be a huge one that we're going to start seeing, especially as um, we're heading into the summer and going into the fall. So this week is just another catalyst to the whole thing that is unfolding before us, but it has to unfold, right? If it doesn't unfold, if we don't allow it to unfold, then we can't come in to the greatness, to the love, to the beauty, to so much more that is there for us. It's just that we have to go through all of these growing pains right now, and it's pretty tight for a lot of people out there, and they're going to shoestrings are going to get tighter. I know it within my own business. But it's not to give up. It's to show up each and every day. And sometimes that can be a little bit difficult because you just like don't want to. You'd rather just go away and hide and sulk, but that's not solving anything, right? So it's embracing, yeah, this is a tough go right now, but look at the blessings you do have. Come into the gratitude, right? The gratitude is so important when you come into the gratitude. And the more you do it, the stronger you get. This is where you got to hand it over, you know, because you're never alone. The universe, Christ, Jesus, whoever the goddess, they're there for you. They're there with you, right? Put your trust in them. Whoever it is, put your trust in that entity, that divineness, right? This is going to be the journey that's going to help you through your everyday life right now. If you're going willy-nilly and thinking that, oh, well, yeah, it's just what it is, it's going to hit you worse than it is for someone who's actually taking time to pray and do their meditations every day. And if you are not connecting with that source energy, if you're not connecting with it, I'm going to guarantee you it's going to be harder for you because you're not going to be able to come in. It's going to be harder for you to see the gratitude. It's so easy to find the evil. It's so easy to take that easy route. That's why you find that the groomers can groom these young people, can pick up these young girls and take them, and these young boys, because it's like, oh, they're going to something better. It looks better. It looks like more fun. Because when you're stepping into the light, it's not it's not always fun because it is the journey of acceptance. It is a journey of understanding I have triggers. It's a journey of understanding that, yeah, I'm fucked up and I have some really shit on my that I have to go through and I got to deal with it. That's the journey. And when you embrace that journey, you find that, okay, you know what? Out of that shit, I can grow some really crazy flowers out of here. I can give some really good advice to other people and help them out through their crazy journey. And it's embracing that within, and it's allowing yourself to step forward in it and not ridicule oneself or ridicule the others. So step into your love, step into your harmony. And as you step into the harmony, you step into the beauty. And it's not always what you think it's going to look like. That's for sure. So every Sunday now, I'm going to be having a different sale. So be on the alert. This last Sunday, I was doing 15 minutes for $33. So if you are wanting, just keep your eye out. And because if you're looking for a mini reading on Sundays, I'm going to throw out different readings or different things. Maybe it could be a percentage off for workshops, which are going to be happening in more workshops, like the Reiki level 1, level 2, and level 3 are going to be coming out in the fall. We are going to have then the astrology club will start up full time again. And right now we just have the astrology club meeting once a month. So, and if you want to join me, oh, look at that. Where did this come from? Wow. I don't know, but this one just showed up. It is the Ace of Swords. So trust in the information that you're receiving, right? That's weird because I didn't even grab these cards. So trust in the information that you're receiving and the knowledge that you got because it's there. All right. Don't bypass the information. Trust in that that you're receiving. A lot of times, when you start questioning is when everything goes haywire. Celebration. So there is celebration. Oh, look at so beautiful. Positive outcome is assured, but you got to celebrate all these successes and everything that you do have now, right? And when you do, know that you are loved. Be with the ones that you love. Allow yourself to, surround yourself by the people that love and care for you and you care for them. This is about the relationships and coming in and building those relationships around you. And when you do that, you're going to find the balance. Balance has been coming out a lot. So there's a lot to do with balance because sometimes balance isn't easy, So taking time to relax, indulge, and just go with the flow. That's what I'm going to say. Go with the flow today. take it in stride. Don't try and overdo. So for all of you, if you are wanting to join join the astrology club, it's on the 15th. It's $50. There's a lot of workbooks and stuff that I hand out for you so that you can work with. And I go through your charts too. So just to show you, to give you an understanding how the frequencies are working within the chart that are working in your life and how they might show up in different ways. All right. So have a blessed one. May the Lord and Lady watch over and bless each and every one of you in all that you say and all that you be. Hang on. It is going to be a rodeo ride this week. That's for sure. So if you're on a Bronco, just hang on, baby. Hang on.